It's your boy Reggie Artiste. You were tuned into Reggie Artiste TV. This is my Real Housewives of Atlanta season 17, episodes 7 through 10 review. I'm going to get through it pretty quick. I know that these reviews or this review is long overdue. So we're going to get straight into it. So episode 7 really isn't a big thing. Cynthia had her event finally. Drew showed up late, which I really didn't care about, honestly. I'm starting to take a liking towards Drew, but to be honest, like, she doesn't really add much for me, like, to really have cared that she was not at the event. And that's just really what it all boils down to as far as that's concerned. I do think that they made such a big deal about it. She said that she wasn't feeling well, whatever. I just know that the whole thing with the oyster shit is where we are getting into K.Michelle, where she is really starting to break down into her defenses and starting to say that the girls are plotting against her. I don't think that the oyster comment was about K.Michelle's hot pocket. I don't. I think that Portia said what she said because of the simple fact that Kelly had said what she said when they were on the Sprinter on the way to the restaurant. And she said that Portia's hot box was funky and all of this, that, and the third. So I think that what Portia said about the oysters and all of that was in response to that. And I think that K.Michelle is just very paranoid at this moment. And I stated that if you watch my TikTok, because I'm a lot more active over there, I made a video about it. K.Michelle is paranoid. She needs to heal. And now she's saying in episode 7, how the girls are plotting against her. And, she breaks down crying. And there's kind of a divide because now the girls are frustrated or in between frustrated and trying to sympathize with Kay. And so that's really where the bulk of everything came from with episode 7. Shamea playing lapdog yet again. That's all she does. And that's my thing. She tries to hide behind her husband's money and make that be her personality and use her lifestyle and how she lives to make it seem like she's the it girl. In the words of Nene, you are the I, but we're missing the T, baby. So that's pretty much where everything for episode 7 kind of boiled down to me for. So yeah, I guess we can move it along. So episode 8 was the sound bath episode where Phaedra was trying to, I guess, do some healing shit or whatever the case may be. Excuse me, which, okay, that's cool. I don't really think that Phaedra is the person. And it's not even because I just think she's so not a good person. Because she has been kind of staying out of the way this season and last season, which is why people have been saying she's been boring and haven't been bringing anything to the table. Nonetheless, I just feel like after that Candy scandal, I don't want to be healed by somebody that can accuse anyone of grape. That's just me. And so they did it. Everything seemed to have gone well except for Shamea's little airbed popping and, this, that, and the third. Which, honestly, who knows? Dealing with Phaedra, it could have been on purpose. Like, oh, that one doesn't work. But then again, I just feel like that's just so far-fetched. They get to dinner. Kay and Portia finally start having their conversation because at this point, Portia is flustered with Kay's accusations of this whole plot and plan. So they're having a discussion about it. They're having a back and forth. And then her and Drew start to go at it. K.Michelle and Drew, which Kay tried to make it like Drew came for her. No, baby, play the tapes back. You brought Drew's name into the equation, and Drew said whatever it was that she wanted to say back. And I think a lot of these girls have selective memory or they're just forgetful because that's not how it played out. And so when all of that was said and done, Portia and Kay still were having their bout and their conversation, and Kelly inserted herself because Kay brought up the whole thing about the ex that she was last with publicly and how Portia was dealing with him and all of this, that, and the third. I'm a bit on the fence about it. Excuse me. I'm a bit on the fence about it because of the simple fact of the matter that on one hand, yes, they both dated him at separate times before they even knew each other. So I don't really think it's that big of a deal. On the other hand, I feel like, okay, if we are building a genuine friendship and I know that you dated a guy that I dated, whether we dated him at the same time or not, whether we knew each other or not, I'm going to just throw that out there like, I used to date him, blah, 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 blah. But then again, this man just doesn't seem to hold that much significance. Portia dating like 5 other motherfuckers. K.Michelle is married. So I really just don't even see where it was that big of a deal. Could have been a thing where it could be a conversation like, girl, you could have told me that you dated such and such. Yeah, cool. But to make it be such a big fucking thing, whatever. And then Kelly jumps her little ass in there talking about some Portia has done this, that, and the third with every Nigeria in Atlanta. When first of all, wasn't you already crying at your closed down restaurant because you already got enough stress on your shoulders as it is? So why the fuck is you worried about this girl? That's what I don't damn like about Kelly. At first, I really did like her. I like how she said what needed to be said. But making Portia your storyline is not going to work. It's not going to work. It's tired. The tea is stale. As I've stated in plenty of other reviews, we already know what the fuck Portia did, so why are we still doing this? All in all, I'm sick of Kelly with this shit. She's irritating the hell out of me. I am, honestly. It's tired. And you caused all of that big scene talking about I got enough going on. I'm not the one to play with. You brought that on yourself. Grow the fuck up. I don't really have much to say about episode 9. I wasn't really impressed. I'm glad that Cynthia and Pinky was able to get the girls together as far as Kay and Portia is concerned so that they can hash out their differences and move forward. But other than that, this episode, I'm not going to say it was boring. It just didn't do enough for me to go into like hard detail about. You feel me? And so like, what I will say is when Portia and Kay settled their differences, if that's even what you want to call it, especially considering the press tour that K.Michelle has been on to slander Portia's name, which I hate that I'm defending Portia so much because anybody that has been watching me, especially when I would be on the panel with Scotty, knows that Portia is one of my least favorites. But she seems to be, I won't say genuine, I'll say she's been performing genuine. And if that's the case, I haven't seen anything that's making me want to come after her. I just have not. So I just feel like it's just a bit much because now you made up with Portia and now all of a sudden Drew is trying to set you up and Drew this, Drew that. You was the one that connected yourself to Black because nobody knew any of that. Again, the paranoia, you put that out there. Just like you put that rumor back out there into the rumor mill about your hot box. Your paranoia is putting you in these places because if I didn't know a man, I don't care if we was in each other's DMs or not. I never would have been like, yeah, he was all in my DMs and you wanted to make it a storyline. Now all of a sudden Drew's plotting on you and not Portia. But y'all never got to the bottom of who the plotter was. It's starting to look like you're plotting on yourself. And I've waited 4 episodes to give you the grace, but it doesn't look like you're very deserving, sweetie. Moving on from that. What else happened in episode 9? Because I'm trying to think. Oh yeah. So Angela and Shamea, I'm sorry, y'all, that I struggle with her name every time. Again, she's just so irrelevant to me. But Angela feels like Shamea is putting a battery in K.Michelle's back. And to be honest, knowing what I know now about some things that were said off camera to K by Shamea, I don't doubt those claims at all. I don't. You know what I'm saying? At the end of it all, Shamea seems to be very crafty. She was able to trick that man into marrying her, so there's really no limits to what she can do, honestly. And so I just feel like there's some truth to that, and so does Angela. So they had a meetup. Angela came to talk, let's lay everything out on the table. Shamea came for a moment, and she came to argue. And then, talking about, oh, her big-ass feet, and I know you ain't wearing white shoes, and the body shaming reads are so played out, especially when you aren't even happy enough with your own body to keep your original motherfucking body. That be the thing about these girls that lay down on the fucking surgery table. They lay down on the table and then they want to judge and criticize people who still have their real fucking bodies. You wanted to come for for Angela's nose. Keep in mind, you laid down on the table just like she did to get a nose. And does yours look great? Yes, but at the end of the damn day, child, again, you are not self-made. You don't have coin of your own. Maybe now you do because you have a peach. But you are who you are from doing the things that you do. And let's be honest, the radio show hosting, that's cool. But none of that shit from the radio show was funding the type of lifestyle that she lives. We got to be fucking honest. So you came to argue with Angela, came to start a fight, and came to say all of this shady ass shit. Like, girl, get a fucking life. You're 40 plus. I just expect women who are close enough and old enough to be someone's grandmother and old enough to have adult children to act like fucking adults. Again, episode 10, don't really have a whole lot to say, but what I will say is this. When it comes down to, I like K.Michelle and Phaedra's, I guess you could say, courtship and them getting to know each other. It seems pretty genuine. Phaedra, like I said, she's been on her best behavior this season. So I like Cynthia's setup. Her house is gorgeous. I love her and her man, or her boo, whatever you want to call him. You could definitely tell that man is putting her through the mattress. I like how he got out of the way and he's not like Patricia or anything of the sort. And I think that Cynthia should be more than just a friend of. She's been doing a lot of fucking work this season to just be a friend of the show. I love the conversation that they was having at Cynthia's house. And did you see how Portia got up and excused herself when Shamea became the topic of discussion? And see, that is what I meant in my TikTok video when I said what I said about the Shamea Mortons of the world. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say about Portia, but Portia has not done the shit that Shamea has done publicly. Shamea has linked up with enemies. Shamea will sit there and kiki and watch bitches talk shit about Portia. Whether they are no longer best friends or not, at some point, y'all were like sisters. And at some point, you should be able to be like, I'm going to walk away from this conversation, or I'm going to put a stop to it, XYZ. What Portia did, Shamea would never have done that. She would have stayed there and she would have... That's why I don't fuck with her. And so that is just the difference that I be trying to point out to people when they be like, I don't understand the Shamea hate train. Well, I don't understand what the fuck you don't understand. And that's really just the gist of it. I don't really have much else to say about the Drew national anthem either. I think she did a decent job. I'm glad that all of the girls ended up coming to support. I think that K.Michelle was being shady for no fucking reason, because why the fuck would you come if you know that you don't even like the girl, or that you was going to be shady? Oh, I really came for his family, but yeah, you could have just left all of that out and been like, well, you know what? I'm just glad that I came. And if you really trying to get to a better space with a person, then try to get to a better space. All that extra fucking shade to try to keep it real is very fucking unwarranted, and it's fake, and it's flawed as fuck, and I don't fuck with it. Period. So that's just that. At any rate, you know, Kay got all dramatic at the restaurant and got up and left because, again, you keep having conversations with these girls, but you ain't saying where the sources and the plot and all of that came from. Those videos that you released talking to that man from that reality show that you was hunching on don't prove not a damn thing. What it does prove is that you're plotting. What it does prove is that you're paranoid. We know everything that we know negative about K.Michelle, not from anybody else, but from K.Michelle. She's really wearing me the fuck out this season, and I'm so surprised that I'm so fucking disgusted with her. Nonetheless, we can move on to Gerald's event also, the surprise party. So, like, they did the surprise party, and it was all good. You know, it looked like a very nice event. Shamea did not invite Portia. I knew she wasn't going to invite Angela, but she did not invite Portia. And when she did that and said what she said about, oh, I just don't want to fake it anymore. But it was okay for you to bring your motherfucking mohawk to her house and fake it for the camera time. Again, this is why I don't like Shamea. And this was my problem with Shamea last season, because you did have a problem with Portia. And you try to make it like Angela is the one who broke up your friendship and started all of this. She did not. She might have played a very big part and role in it happening, but the friendship was already where it was. You weren't telling Portia how you were feeling. You were fake fucking accepting apologies that you did not want to accept. You did all of that because it seemed like such a strategic plan to me for you to play everything cool until you got your peach. Now you got your peach. You talking about you didn't want to fake it. If you didn't want to fake it, you should have kept your ass at home. You and your Mohawk Bob should have kept your ass at home when Portia had her event. But now this happens and you want to make it be a fucking thing. Like, girl, shut up. Tired of her. And that's really all that I feel like is worth mentioning. I did enjoy seeing Giselle, even though she works my damn nerves, but I do miss Potomac. And so seeing her was like good. And, you know, she came, clocked in, she knew what questions to ask, and she knew how to work that camera because that's what she does. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really have much else to say. But those are my thoughts on the past 4 episodes. I'm still waiting on Kay to be vindicated at some point, but I don't see it happening. Let me know what you think in the comments. please comment, like, share, and I will see you all next.